the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Straight ahead here on the news at noon, a robbery and assault in broad daylight is caught on camera in Montgomery County. What the victims' family members are saying this afternoon. Plus, Maryland lawmakers are wrapping up the last day of the legislative session. What bills made the cut and which ones didn't? Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Annalisa Gale filling in for Mark Hall this afternoon. Right now, the family of a 20-year-old murdered in Prince William County in December is rallying in front of the courthouse ahead of the preliminary hearing for one of his suspected killers. Justice for Junior! More than a dozen family and friends gathered in the name of justice for Jose Guerrero. He was reported missing by the family on December 21st, and his body was found by police in Prince George's County on January 19th. Two people were arrested and charged in his murder, including a 17-year-old boy and 19-year-old Alvin Ramirez. The family says the 17-year-old was released from custody on March 24th due to an issue with evidence, and they rallied today to make sure Ramirez will stay behind bars after his preliminary hearing.
You know, we're hoping today goes well and that in the preliminary hearing, he stays in jail and that we can move forward with the trial and lock him up for good.
Now, Ramirez was scheduled to be in court at 11:30. We'll have an update at 5 and 6 on today's hearing. Well, DC News Now has obtained exclusive video of a robbery and assault on a trail in Montgomery County. You can see here a man sneak up on an elderly couple in Gaithersburg. It's a story you'll see only here on DC News Now. That couple is now recovering after that Easter Sunday afternoon attack. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg has reaction from the victim's family.
The trail behind Sauk Circle is popular for people who live in the neighborhood and even those visiting businesses in downtown Crown.
My parents were out walking yesterday, Sunday, enjoying the beautiful weather as so many were.
But at 5:05 p.m., Tammy Levy's parents were assaulted. In this video, you can see a man try to rip the purse off her mother. When her father tried to intervene, it appears he tripped and fell.
Has multiple contusions and bruises. My mother tried to fight and was yanked backwards and therefore ended up with a knot on her head and got up and chased him.
One neighbor heard the commotion but didn't think anything of it at first.
We consider it a very safe neighborhood, and it was surprising to us to hear.
The only thing the man stole was Levy's mother's iPhone.
But I think there's so much that was taken from all of us, frankly. I never, ever worried about my parents feeling old or unsafe. Home
security cameras cover just about every angle in this neighborhood.
You got to have your head examined trying to do something in this neighborhood because it's like Fort Knox around here, at least video style.
The man was last seen wearing all dark clothing, a winter cap and face mask. Detectives are asking neighbors in the area of Sauk Circle, Steinbeck Avenue, and DeCoverly Drive to review their cameras between 4:30 and 5:30 p.m. on Sunday to see if you caught the suspect.
I hope that they regain their sense of safety and confidence and security.
We'll take a look at this new video into our newsroom. You can see a Metro train slowly moving past a construction truck that derailed earlier this morning. This did not involve a passenger train, but it did cause some delays for the Tuesday morning commute for those traveling on the Blue Line. At around 8 a.m., crews were able to move the truck and train service went back to normal. Metro says the vehicle involved has the ability to drive both on roads and tracks, and it was being used for a maintenance project overnight. Well, taking a look outside, it's another sunny day, and it feels warmer than it did this time yesterday. Thankfully, meteorologist Scott Sumner joining us now. Scott, I'm excited. This is beautiful.
Yeah, we talked off camera about, stepping outside after the newscast and grabbing a little bite to eat because absolutely it is a beautiful day, just like we had yesterday, only, yes, a little bit milder out there. We'll show you temperatures coming up in a moment. But I tell you what, there is a live look in at our neighbors up in Washington County, actually, and this is Hagerstown, Dual Highway. Again, Tons of sunshine being seen across much of the viewing area. Yes, there are a couple of clouds as I even look outside our window here in the studios in D.C., but overall pretty much a sunny afternoon across much of the viewing area. And that sun sets, isn't this a nice number, 7:41? I remember just about 2 months ago, it was sun sets at like 5:30. It's like, oh my goodness. Anyway, southerly winds at 8 miles an hour, fairly light breeze out there. And again, we can thank high pressure, our friend to the south, that it's giving us a beautiful day. And there's some of those clouds just clipping the area across the eastern shores of Maryland moving out. But we don't have to worry about really any storms or any rain or anything like that. Keep the umbrellas at home this week. It is a temperature forecast. As you see the numbers climbing through the 70s and into the 80s. 82 on Wednesday, 85 on Thursday, 86 on Friday. Now, of course, we do hit the weekend, and yes, there are some changes in store for us. We'll get into that in the meat and potatoes coming up in my main weather. But as warm as it is now in the short term, it looks like towards the end of April, the 19th through the 25th, is when we'll actually start to see some cooler air build back into the region. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about, of course, your full 7-day coming up.
Over the past 2 months, it has primarily affected my speech and how my mouth moves. You may notice I speak more quickly now. It has also affected how I walk and keep my balance.
On World Parkinson's Day, U.S. Representative Jennifer Wexton has announced that she has been diagnosed with the brain disorder. The mom of 2 and lawmakers shared the news a few hours ago on Twitter. Now, Parkinson's disease is a brain disorder that causes uncontrollable movements like shaking, stiffness, and difficulty with balance and coordination. According to the Parkinson's Foundation, nearly 1 million Americans live with the disorder. Well, Maryland lawmakers passed several bills during the 90-day legislative session. Some of those bills passed last night as lawmakers worked late into the night. Lawmakers covered gun control measures that specify where firearms can be taken. They also addressed licensing framework for recreational marijuana. A bill on horse racing was also passed, overseeing plans to improve infrastructure at the Preakness Stakes and Laurel Park. Governor Wes Moore also pushed for a bill to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Our Tosin Fakile has a full recap.
Maryland lawmakers were in session until about midnight on Monday. A gun control bill was one of the major bills that passed, but now without some debate between both sides of the aisle at the Democratic-controlled Maryland General Assembly. Now, lawmakers passed the bill SB 0001, which does a few things. It specifies certain places where firearms can be taken. It bans someone with a permit to carry concealed handguns in places like playgrounds, schools, hospitals, and it also prevents a person from taking a firearm on private property unless permission is given by that property. Now, when it comes to recreational marijuana, lawmakers created licensing regulations and tax rates needed to open a pot market on July 1st. The bill says medical cannabis stores will get dual licenses to operate medical and adult use cannabis stores. Now, another bill headed to Governor Wes Moore's desk is a package the governor himself pushed for, and that's minimum wage. But that bill passed with some changes. Lawmakers approved speeding up increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour to next year instead of 2025. And lawmakers didn't approve an automatic indication for future increases to adjust for inflation. Now, several legislation on abortion was passed as well. One of those bills puts a constitutional amendment on the ballot to enshrine the right to abortion in Maryland's Constitution. One bill to note that did not make it out of the 90-day legislative session was the Sprinklers Save Lives Act. That was put up directly because of the fire at Arrive Apartments in Silver Spring in February. That bill would have required certain high-rise buildings to have sprinklers by January 1st, 2033, and would have required an automatic smoke alarm installed in each public corridor in a high-rise building starting July 1st of this year. In the studio, I'm Tosin Fakile for DC News Now.
Today, I'm hurt, and I'm hurting. And I know so many people out there are as well. We lost 4 children of God today, one of whom was one of my closest friends.
And that was Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear there reacting to the news of a shooting at a bank in Louisville yesterday. Police say a bank employee armed with a rifle opened fire where he worked, killing 5 people and injuring at least 9 others. In a news conference just moments ago, police say the shooter bought the gun legally from a local dealer on April 4th. They also say body camera video from police officers responding to the shooting will be released later today. Now, police arrived as shots were still being fired inside Old National Bank. Louisville Metro Police say they killed the shooter in an exchange of gunfire. That shooter has now been identified as 25-year-old Connor Sturgeon, and he was reportedly streaming that attack on Instagram. A witness described the moments the shooting started.
An assault rifle, and we heard a click, and the lady next to me turned around and said, "What the hell?" And then he just started shooting. He just started. He had a long assault rifle, and he just started. You hear the shots just start firing. Yeah, we were in the back conference room. Whoever's next to me got shot, and hit bloods on me from it.
Now, according to the Associated Press, this is the 15th mass killing this year. It comes 2 weeks after a former student killed 3 children and 3 adults at a school in Nashville, Tennessee. Imani Payne with our sister station in Kentucky has the latest.
Police cars and caution tape line downtown Louisville.
I'm obviously horrified and devastated because this keeps happening every week in the United States.
Old National Bank, the scene of the country's latest mass shooting. 6 people killed, including the gunman, and several more injured, including 2 officers. One of the injured officers, 26-year-old Nicholas Wilt, shot in the head and undergoing brain surgery. He's in critical but stable condition tonight. He's been on the force for less than a month.
Just graduated from the police academy on March 31st. I just swore him in, and his family was there to witness his journey to become a police officer.
One of the victims killed, a close personal friend of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
Tommy Elliott helped me build my law career, helped me become governor, gave me advice on being a good dad. And these are irreplaceable, amazing individuals that a terrible act of violence tore from all of us.
Police say the gunman, 23-year-old Connor Sturgeon, who worked at the bank, live-streamed parts of the attack. He used a rifle and was killed during a shootout with police. Still, people who've lived in the area for years are on edge.
I heard gunshots, or what sounded like gunshots, and then I heard sirens. I thought, well, here we go again.
While others staying at nearby hotels say no matter what city they're in, they can't seem to escape mass shootings.
But I heard all these sirens, tons of sirens going, and I had no idea what was going on until I went downstairs, and the girl in the coffee shop said there's been a mass shooting, like an active shooter. I think I don't feel safe almost anywhere now in the U.S.
The mass shooting, one of 2 shootings in the city today. The second happening outside of Jefferson Community and Technical College. 1 person killed there in an unrelated attack. Mayor Craig Greenberg says despite a day filled with violence and an unknown motive in the attacks, he won't let his city be overtaken by fear and evil.
We will continue to move forward with strength, with prayer, with love, support, and determination.
That was Imani Payne reporting there again. Now, in the press conference, the Louisville Metro Police Department chief also says a rookie officer shot in the head while responding remains in critical but stable condition right now. A vigil is expected tomorrow.